It's fantasy football season, and if you're struggling like I am, I'm going to tell you the biggest draft busts this year that you need to get off your team immediately. Seriously, if you've got these players on your team, on your bench, you need to get them off right now, and I'm going to help you get them off. We're going to get them off together. Let's go. Biggest draft busts of 2022. Number one, we got Devin O'Reilly. Who is Devin O'Reilly? He's a young man with a nerve condition that causes his skeleton to want to jump out of his body. It's a condition that gives him excruciating amounts of pain and emotional trauma for both him and his family. But in 2012, I watched this kid play high school football. Omaha Panthers, last game of this season. They hand the ball off to this young man, O'Reilly, and I'd never seen anything like it. The defense just froze. They stood up, and they watched him walk the ball into the end zone. Some of them even applauded him at the end. He's playing next level mind games with the defense that I've never seen a running back do before. You look at Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, O.J. Simpson. Guys were trying to tackle them all the time. But this kid, I don't know what it is, but he possesses some kind of psychological power. You know, he's a Professor X level mutant that can control the defense. It's amazing to watch. So ever since he became eligible to play in Major League Football, I have been drafting him thinking some team out there is going to have the brains to actually pick up the phone and call him and bring him in and change the position of running back forever, change the game forever. But they never do. So if you're like me, trying to play three-dimensional fantasy football and you think he's the sleeper pick of the century, I got news for you. It's bad news. No team's ever going to take a chance on this young man. So get him off your team now, please. Get him off your team now. He's the biggest bust that has ever existed. And to Devin, if you're watching this, I hope your skeleton stays inside your body, young man. And I hope you get inside one of these stadiums soon. And I get to watch you run the ball like you did in high school, because I've never seen anything like it. You're the greatest running back to ever exist. You just need to give it a chance. Next up, biggest draft busts this year. Look, this is a twofer, and if you got these people on your team, you got to get them off right now. You know why? Because they're retired. Rodney Federer, Sabrina Williams, get them off your team. They just retired. Rodney Federer, Sabrina Williams, learn their names. They're the greatest of all time. They're the GOATs. Doesn't matter. They're retired. They're not going to score you any points. Read the news. Next up, biggest draft bust this year, Deborah Gordon. She's a number one wedding planner in all of Tampa Bay, Florida. And if you're playing in a PPR league and thought you were going to get a point for every one of her receptions, you're not. That's not what that means, apparently. And after having the rules explained to me very thoroughly several times, I still don't understand, but I've come to accept that I'm not going to get points for her receptions, despite how tasteful and lovely they are. She makes memories for these young couples that they will carry with them for a lifetime, and she takes all the stress away. All right, she does all the work so that they can enjoy themselves. But I guess that's worth nothing in fantasy football. So if you have Deborah Gordon on your team, get her off now. Final fantasy draft bust of the season, let's be honest, isn't really a bust because injuries happen. But if you've got Queen Elizabeth II on your team, you need to get her off right now. I know the Washington Commanders said she would be out from 6 to 8 weeks, but I'm telling you, I've seen these injuries before. She's done for the season. She's a hell of a tight end, a hell of a value pick. We all knew she was going to be Carson Wentz's number one target in the red zone this season, and it's a shame that the way it worked out, you got to know that she's not coming back. Maybe next year, but she's not coming back this season. Drop her from your team. All right, that wraps it up. You know that you have these players on your team and you're not doing well, just like me. I'm 0-2, and I'm hoping for a bounce back week after I've switched things up a little bit. Good luck out there, and happy fantasy to all you fantasy bros and fantasy ladies. And we're all fantasy friends forever and ever and ever. And I love you, and we're going to be friends